Iraq's youth are done waiting. After decades of sectarian rule, corruption and war, a new generation is taking on the old guard, storming into politics with fire and defiance. They were children when Saddam fell. Now, they want to rebuild Iraq, their way. At just 25, Anwar Ibrahim is taking on Iraq's political establishment. Frustrated by years of sectarian rule, he's running for parliament, part of a new generation of young Iraqis seeking to challenge the entrenched elite in next week's elections. He told Reuters,
"Young people and technocrats must have the space to help govern the state and end the dominance of powerful parties."
However, many Iraqis remain skeptical, seeing the November 11th vote as unlikely to bring real change to the country's stagnant politics, with the same powerful groups controlling the state and its oil wealth since Saddam Hussein's fall in 2003. Yet the presence of significant numbers of youth candidates, for the second time since elections in 2005, marks a political coming of age for Iraqis who were infants or children when Saddam was toppled, and could energize demands for reform. An Iraqi High Electoral Commission official told Reuters,
"The fact that around 40% of registered candidates are young people shows there's growing interest among Iraq's youth to take part in shaping the country's future. It reflects a desire for renewal and for a stronger voice from a generation that has long felt excluded from politics."
Most of the new youth candidates are in their late 20s to mid-30s, a sharp contrast to the current parliament, where the average age of lawmakers is about 55, and include members of the country's Shiite majority as well as its Sunni minority. The IRAQIS says about 40% of registered candidates are under 40, and roughly 15% are under 35, typically 28 to 35 years old. In elections in 2021, 24% of candidates were under 30, the IRAQIS said. The fresh influx of young candidates may persuade some Iraqis to vote for the first time, eager for alternatives to the sectarian leaders repeatedly voted in by older generations. Despite routine democratic elections, Iraqis continue to grapple with corruption, unemployment, and poor services. Iraqi civil activist Ali Al-Malem said,
"Certainly, there is a great opportunity for young people to engage in political work. By the way, winning is not as important as reaching people. People now are in a transformation process after 2003, with Generation Z entering the electoral voting process. This structural transformation in the mentality of Iraqi youth makes it important and necessary for young people to participate in political work, not just to win, but to convince people with modern, enlightening, contemporary visions, unlike those held by, for example, classical parties with conspiracy theories and other such perceptions."
However, young Iraqis appear split on whether to vote. Some are enthusiastic, but others have given up on politics and have decided to boycott the elections.
This street, the majority, our street, all of them are boycotting the elections because we haven't seen anything for years. Every 4 years, the same people change and come back. We are completely boycotting the elections. We voted once, twice, 3 times, and it's the same faces. Nothing improves. There's nothing that benefits or helps the country. They are harmful to the country. These people have no benefit. We are tired.
A static political landscape was not what analysts foresaw when Iraqis toppled Saddam's statue in Baghdad in 2003, hitting it with their shoes in celebration of the dictator's fall. US officials thought that toppling the Sunni strongman would set Iraq on a path to freedom and prosperity enjoyed by all communities sharing its oil wealth fairly. Instead, a pro-Saddam insurgency emerged, followed by Islamist al-Qaeda militants and a sectarian civil war that gave rise to the more extremist jihadists of Islamic State. Meanwhile, the balance of political power steadily shifted from Saddam's minority Sunnis to majority Shiites in the form of civilian politicians and armed militias backed by Iran. Any youth seeking to change the status quo will face stiff resistance. Still, many young candidates are pushing to rewrite the electoral law, create an independent elections committee, and curb the influence of Iranian-backed militias over politics and elections. In October 2019, protests erupted over high unemployment, poor public services and corruption, prompting a violent security crackdown which killed 149 people. A government report which investigated the episode concluded that more than 70% of deaths were caused by shots to the head or chest.
We are certainly worried about attempts to prevent change. Parties that have armed wings will try to stop any real change in the political process in Iraq, and will use their weapons against us. If we succeed, elections will be the first step toward a new Iraq. If not, the situation will be tragic. Democracy in Iraq will decline alarmingly, and will remain only ink on paper.